Hi guys, I am back for another illuminating video. Here's how it rolls. Just in spontaneous moments of my life, especially when I'm about to rise in the dawn of the deity, I actually have these like aha download moments. And just thinking about alchemy as I ponder all the alchemical symbols and things of this nature, it hit me about the Adam and Eve story. So, what I'm beginning to realize is that all the stories that are out here regarding Adam and Eve, regarding Lucifer, fall from grace, regarding Anana's descent into the underworld, for example, the plight of Moses and the Israelites, and all this stuff, they are telling us stories of ourselves and our connection to the heavenly light. So, as I'm going through some alchemy videos, I wanted to look into again, as I did several years ago, I found some information in regards to creating these cell salt batteries that you can make. They're made with crystal cell batteries, and they will power forever, basically, from compressed salts and different metals and things. So there's different ways to make them. And I was trying to find the way that John Hutchinson had taught, which seemed fairly simple. You could get different salt ingredients, compress them into a cylinder. Like you take a piece of PVC and you put a piece of copper wire in it, and I believe it might have been a double cylinder type of style, but I was trying to find the simplest style as I had seen in the past. There's a lot of complicated ones. Anyway, you do this mixture, you compress it really tight, pack it in, lock it in, and then it gives off an electrical charge and you can power small items. So I have some of these candles that are called luminaire candles, and they're very cool. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but the wick, the little fake plastic, what they call a wick, will move when the light that's inside the candle heats it, and it causes it to look and flicker like a flame does. And I'm just like, oh my God, I was overjoyed when I found the candles because they're battery operated, but I wanted to have batteries that never die. So I was thinking about, oh, maybe I can do a science experiment where I work with these batteries, make these batteries. That way I can have this little thing that charges my candles and they can stay on all the time and I don't have to like turn them off. So that's what got my mind going this morning. Well, one thing leads to another, because you channel the energy with your thoughts. And so I started leaving basically some different comments is what I do. And I've been making a book based on the comments that I leave, because I realized at one point that I'm leaving a lot of good, like just tidbits of knowledge. And I'm like, maybe should just compile these and put them in a book that I could then sell as a PDF or something that somebody can just purchase. And they can have these little tidbits that I've left behind just as comments, and follow. It'll be kind of like a scavenger hunt where you click the links to go and see what other people may have responded. I have not done that. I don't know what people say. I'm sure people think I'm crazy, but at the same time, my mind is in a different plane. So I'm just connecting a bunch of dots and leaving behind breadcrumb trails. So I realized that Adam and Eve, oh my gosh, as it connects us, it's the story of us. Adam, Aadam, is atom, Atom. And atom is the atomic structure that imbibes our body, but it's also the positive or yang polarity. And Eve is the yin principle, or the negative magnetic polarity, in a duality or bipolarity scale of things. And I'm like, oh my God. The serpent is the story of how we came into knowing about the tree of knowledge of the Tetragrammaton, which is the sound structures of all creation based on trinities of sounds that can also be added in like the 3, 6, 9 structures in order to create a specific sine wave of energy, which is what the Kabbalistic tree teaches. But they're only teaching you one branch of the tree of knowledge. What is that branch? Well, based on sound frequencies and your intention, you can either create light or dark light, essentially. You can create electric or magnetism. You can pull in energy or push out energy. And that energy, based on intentions, can be used for good or evil. Good would be the positive polarity, evil would be the negative polarity. Now, based on all this duality, it started hitting me about all kinds of things. So last night, I actually came across the Inanna story, Inanna's descent into the underworld. And in doing so, I did not know that Inanna was considered a goddess of love. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is sounding all too familiar. It's sounding just like the story of the fall of Lucifer from heaven. Now, based on all of my findings and research, Lucifer is Venus. And Venus was also Aphrodite, the goddess of love. And Venus is known as the goddess of love. Venus is the heart chakra. It's love, just plain and simple love. But that love is also us. It's found within us and our world. If we look for it and we become it, then we become the light of the world again. Because Venus is a star that is on the eastern sky on the dawning of every day. It is the light bringer, the bringer of the sun of the world, the light of the world, which is the sun, which is God's sun, because no one else can own the sun but God. This is the story of the Bible. This is the story of Moses. This is the story of Inanna. The celestial heavens are the story of us. It's our story. That's why someone wrote the story in the zodiac for us to know ourselves fully. And there's those people out there who do not believe in the zodiac, but they have not truly traversed the depths, because the zodiac is only one aspect of the entire spirit science of astrotheology. Astrotheology is the study of nature and all things of the universe or one voice system. To know the astrotheology very well, which would be considered high magic, you become a high magician when you study the stars and you study all things in nature as an alchemist. When you're working just with the 4 elements of alchemy, as an alchemist, you're was considered working with low magic. That's the lower form of magic. The high magic is in the stars because it's overhead and because it's the highest obtainable knowledge in this existence. So, going into this, I was leaving behind a trail of consciousness in comment sections. And I'm just going to go over some of the comments that I left for the day. And what I can do is just leave the little link so that you can get some context of what I was responding to. So I'll copy and paste the links here. It's very benign stuff, but it's also very valuable information that I traverse. Even the breaching the subject of what these people are putting out on the internet from their findings and research in searching for the free energy that's all around us, trying to harness it for our daily use. That's what people are doing. And so I'll start with this one where I found a John Hutchinson video that someone had posted up. And if you're not familiar with him, I do suggest go and finding his information online. He basically became an alchemist and of these different electronics, and he was very reclusive. He actually has an alter ego. I believe the name was Carla Nipton, that he dresses as a woman and pretends to be a woman who is responding to his his science that he does. He'll change the camera angles and portray himself as a woman and a man. Anyway, it seems far out. Honestly, he's probably got entity attachments, but he's a genius because he's been playing with a lot of equipment that he acquired, and he's like a Nikola Tesla, messing with, all of the energy of the universe. But anyway, let me just read some of the comments. John is essentially an alchemist. It's not hard once you return to the basics of what comprises this world. A study of yin and yang will begin the comprehension of how simple nature is, while man made terminology has been introduced into society to confuse people and to control the raw foundational truths. When someone looks up the definition of alchemy, they will find that it is deemed a pseudoscience by mainstream operations because, in order to control a world of people, you have to control the knowledge. If everyone in the world began looking into alchemy, basically the study of nature and the natural laws that govern creation, as a continued study, there would be no world rulers placed in positions of power to control others. It's that simple. Nature has but one truth, not deceptive practices to trick people through black magic mind control. Everything is sound, and sound creates light, which is everything we see. Yang teaches that fire and air are positive polarity. The man-made confusion calls it protons. Yin teaches that water and earth are magnetic, while man-made confusion calls it electrons. These are the beginning principles of the four elements of creation. We live in a world of duality made up of positive and negative charges, and the world is made of only these four substances. But because of the confusing aspect of the man-made world, we cannot see the basic principles that govern us. Chemistry became man-made confusion to control the knowledge. Alchemy is a purer form of science easily comprehended by anyone who dives into it. The entire world is a battery comprised of batteries everywhere, as life needs a way to sustain the electrical energy it imbibes. Everything is electromagnetic, comprised of yin and yang, to hold the atoms or positive, and Eves, negative, also known or depicted as the sun and moon, together. There used to be a video where John shared the actual salt ingredients and showed how to make a crystal cell battery. It was in a video where he pretended to be speaking with his alter, Carla Nipton. Now, that was the end of that comment. But I made other comments on other people's channels regarding some other things that I came across. So one of the science experiments was a guy who was harnessing what he called earth energy. You do not really harness energy from the earth. The earth is the magnetism. It is the ground. It's all the elements of creation that are emitting the light frequencies that charge batteries, that is electricity. So I just mentioned, I'll give you a little secret. The higher you can take the copper wire up into the atmosphere, the more power you will harness from the air, fire, or natural light. Everything we've ever been looking for is found within the principles of yin and yang. Yang is air and fire, which is electric and positive. Yin is water and earth, which is negative, magnetic. Yin and yang are found in everything because everything is electromagnetic. There are 7 planetary metals that, when placed with certain natural elements, can create more powerful forms of energy. Alchemy is the science that can restore the basic knowledge of our world and how it functions. All other sciences have been created to confuse everyone and to control the knowledge. Alchemy is the study of nature and natural laws. Chemistry is man-made confusion. Because I realize that it really is. But I've taken chemistry in high school and college, and it's just mind-blowing. Like your mind is confuddled with all these abstract concepts and ideas, and you're trying to learn a new language when this basic premise of alchemy, if we return to its foundations of how it was taught in the old days, it's very basic and easy to establish the learning curve of that through all of the symbols too. So another thought on that was that actually when we look into alchemy, we see the symbols of the constellations that are actually the alchemy symbols to perform actions. So you would use this symbol, write it down or scribe it, you would scribe it in your notes as how to create the process of what different elements you're bringing together and how you are going to extract it or manipulate it to create something else. And so these are the signs of the zodiac. These are the alchemy processes inside your body, outside your body, and the creation of this universe. This is how we create the universe, because the universe is one body. And as man is the measure of the universe, all of the alchemical actions that create man's body are found in the celestial heavens. Do you see where I'm going with this? We are the stars. We are the gods who fell from heaven to earth. We are the Anunnaki, if that story actually means from heaven to earth came. So we are the ones that we're trying to find. We're the ones that we are seeking. We are the aliens from other countries. It's the oneness, it's the people. It's also our creations, our distortions of creations that we create, because the purest form of creation is the man and the natural laws, the laws of nature. Nature is a natural substance. But as man plays as his godlike form and creates distortions, merging the planetary metals with the physical body, with all of parts of creation, distorting everything, there has to be a balance. And that balance is the light. That balance is the knowledge. The balance is inside of us if we choose to balance ourselves. And through gnosis, knowledge is light, enlightenment. Knowledge is power. Darkness is ignorance. Darkness is deceptive. It's lies. It's opposite of love, which is light. So alchemy, again, and I'll just continue because I am pro-alchemy, is the foundation of our reality. So let's continue going, because some of these comments that I left, I was blowing myself away, honestly. Okay, so one of the comments that I recently left was on one of my subscribers, Merlin and the Fey King's Crown. You can go and subscribe to his channel and support him and his work. Hi, Merlin. I am promoting you. I know that you'll see this. So go and promote his work because he's just begun this channel, so he doesn't have many subscribers. We can all choose to help each other. So he's talking about the dark deception and the trickery of the shadow beings. The shadow beings are just the darker aspects of ourselves. We are all from the stars, all of us, but some are fallen more into darkness than we have. We came to this plane, the 3D, and in order to have this dense experience to rediscover ourselves, remember who we are, remember our truth of who we are, and to show others, to remind them that it's not the darkness that you're looking for, it's the light. Be more light and you will grow in more light. You will become more enlightened. You will then eventually, through alchemical processes of going around the great wheel of time, to grow more light with each circumnavigating cycle of time, Saturn's realm, to go up in this spiraling vortex of alchemy processes. You go through all the processes of alchemy as you circle around through each incarnation, spiraling, spiraling, forever growing, 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 growing your light, growing eternally. That's why this serpent is here. The serpent equals time, the reincarnation cycle, time, Satan, the serpent, Saturn. Saturn gives us time to come and rediscover who we truly are because we forget the density, the magnetism of Saturn squeezes us into this tight form, into this dense holographic construct that we call a physical body. And it subsequently squeezes out some of our memories. And the memories can't all go because we need to come in order to truly find enlightenment. You have to be wiped of everything you know. You have to know the darkness, the ignorance of your life, the ignorance of your youth, even though you're a bright light being dropped in like a tiny drop of water into a huge bucket of darkness, and you become like that bucket until you realize your own light and you start stepping into your own story. Because Satan's story will continue until our minuscule droplet connects and magnetizes with other droplets of consciousness to grow more light, to start illuminating from the dark ages into the bronze ages, because we're coming into fall now. Then we come into summer, the silver ages, up to the golden spring of high awareness, of high magic, of high spirit sciences, that we are the light that descended from the alchemy of the heavens. It projected us down onto Saturn's cube, time and space, Earth, Saturn, into this form. Our light is shining down onto Saturn, and it is illuminating us, giving us time. We pulled up out of the earth, out of the light body of our mothers, the Eves of the world, and we're walking around beginning to ignite a fire of consciousness that is going to be a firestorm because air amplifies fire, right? And they said, oh, the earth will suffer by fire, the trials of fire, the trials of spirit, the trials of even Project Bluebeam, which is also equates to fire. because Pisces was a water sign. Now we're going into air, which is on the side of fire, the yang principle. Yang principle is the duality. So each astrological age that we go into is going to be a challenge. It's either going to be water or fire, water or fire, water, fire, water, fire, water, fire, because those are the basic principles that can be used. Now, as Earth is also a part of that, and so is air, you're just going to see the ones who are the more active forces that are being used. Like, oh my gosh, if only we could get more people looking into this kind of stuff. It's like my mind is going, oh my God, I see it all now. So this is us, guys. This is us. This is what's so ridiculous about us. We think that somehow we are separate from those other Kabbalists, the cabal, the cabal. Anyway, yeah, this is us. So I responded in Merlin's comments. We need more love. I love you. Some of the stories that are out here, such as fallen angel, Lucifer, who is Venus, goddess of love, which is our love, and the planet Venus, which must be in opposition to some of the other more prominent planets right now, currently. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't learned time magic yet. And Inanna's descent into the underworld story, which is Inanna was a goddess of love, and Inanna's descent into the underworld, are telling us a bigger story based on the celestial heavens. Another story, Jesus, aka Iusis, aka the Son or Son of God, is resurrecting, aka the light inside us, is illuminating our hearts and minds into action, aka fire principle, to ignite the world again and shine light onto the darkness of Saturn's followers. Saturn, aka Satan, aka the Grim Reaper, Kronos, Father Time, the Sandman, ruler of the dreamland, is the god of the Israelites. You know, the Ashkenazi Nazi Anasazi who love to enslave people and to do heinous crimes against nature and the natural world, according to Navajo teachings. Welcome to the dawning of the age of Aquarius. So basically, they're always going to be the opposing force. You're never going to get rid of an opposing force. It's always equal. So one quick look around to see how many cube shapes you can count in one trip to the Saturnian Cube grocery store should let you know that you have arrived smack dab at the beginning of a very dark time, as more cubes are created daily to honor his energy. Now I capitalize his because capitalizing anything with all caps, labeling it like in this manner, is referring to a dead entity, even though Saturn is a living energy. Nothing truly dies, but it is to designate dead things, things that have died. Okay, and he rules the dark underworld of death. So, but there's always you and your story that can be the light that shines within Saturn's dark realm. Just be childlike in your nature and give thanks to Saturn for showing you his darkness, because it means now you have an opportunity to show how much light you can produce to outshine darkness everywhere. Knowledge is light, you know, as well as your voice. And through Saturn's dark technology, we can find enlightenment, but only if we choose the path. The Inanna story hit me last night when I was listening to it on YouTube, and they mentioned Inanna being the goddess of love. But there's been many who have been deemed the goddess of love. Aphrodite was one of them. Then I realized, oh, it's different languages that have different names for the same being or energy. Of course, the Tower of Babylon, they confuddled and confused the languages, broke it up. We had one language in the world way back when, in the age of Gemini, of the age of brotherly love. Okay. The age of Pisces, Aquarius, and Capricorn represent the dark ages, aka the underworld. And we are now entering Saturn's time to rule our plane, a tough time for sure. We shall experience a mini golden age, hence the Great Awakening. Gold is us connected to the sun, Son of God. It's God's Son because no one can claim the Son within a very dark time because it's about to get real easy to acquire the imaginary money from the imaginary world of the metaverse. Saturn can give abundance in different ways, always of his darkness and to challenge your time here, but he is mostly stern, firm, and challenging. In order to navigate this plane more wisely, we can learn the orrery wisdom and know the planetary aspects that govern our hourly, daily, monthly, yearly existence. The only story, our story, is waiting for us to reclaim it by knowing ourselves among the heavens once more. We are the angels or angles who fell from heaven because the angles in your natal chart are the angles or angels of heaven. We are the angels who fell from heaven to earth to have this wonderful waking experience, to know ourselves fully, and to experience playing in the four elements of alchemy. This is the Garden of Eden, where atom, which is also day for deity, day, yang, light, electric, positive energy or positive polarity, the sun, energy, and Eve, which is night, evening, darkness, yin, magnetic, negative polarity or negative energy, encountered the serpent, which is Satan, Saturn, darkness, hidden shadows, evil, opposite of love, and fell in consciousness from finding the forbidden fruit, which is the secrets of alchemy and how to manipulate time and space, which is Saturn's realm, and Earth was also considered Earth, aka Saturn Earth plane, aka our existence, from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, also known as the Tetragrammaton, aka the flower of life, matrix. It is a matrix, not a matrix. It's not tricks unless you're a swindler to others. It's a mother of energy fields, hence a vast amount of knowledge in a lattice frame of triads, aka holy trinities or triangles of sound frequencies, whose fruits comprise of branches of connecting sound frequencies that can be harnessed for better or worse through intentions. Combinations of sounds holds the keys of all creation. And the Israelites follow and teach the swindler branch, aka Hebrew branch, of only one set of sounds through their teachings called Kabbalah. Kabbalists, Kabbalists, Canaanite, cannibals, Canbal Allah. You see where all these words are coming from now? Once you have it presented in spelling, the sound frequencies always follow the frequency of sound. You will never be led astray once you do this. The sound creates. It is everything in existence. Okay, continuing. It is by my own suspicion, due to their dark deceptive practices, that's us on the other side, y'all, that they are teaching this one branch. So everyone who follows it and performs it can be part of the ritual to assist in bringing in more Saturnian energy and to worship him. We have been unknowingly participating every part, is supposed to be participating in every part of their rituals to assist in growing an energy egregore. Now, an egregore is a collection of consciousness focused in one direction for their dark purposes of massive mind control. It involves sacrificing animals, eating flesh of the dead, decomposing animals, killing the light in our foods, and torturing foods by cutting, stabbing, maiming with forks, knives, blenders, etc., becoming hosts from the Lord, of darkness to house his dark minion children, disembodied spirits of the dead, through black magic, pharmakia, poisoning food, air, water, earth, clothing, and our connection to it inside and outside our form, killing and disregarding all life and creation of the light from above. All of these actions are an attempt to disconnect us from our divinity and from knowing who we truly are by making us suffer their darkness of fake rulership, by stealing the knowledge regarding the spirit sciences taught in Kemet between the ages of Taurus and Aries, holding only for their chosen families, while they burned and massacred the rest of us to make us forget it all. This has been a systematic takeover by chosen families who were in allegiance of their dark plans. This is the darker aspect of us, y'all. We got to catch up with who our good light side is and to pull in the light. That Moses story of placing blood on the doors outside the homes of the chosen ones was a marker that meant that they would sacrifice, kill life in order to live, while the sorcerers, the Moses, the moon cult leader, who stole the knowledge, summoned Saturn's dark minions, which you can do when you steal the knowledge of spirit sciences, which includes summoning demons and using all of the energies that are out here, imbibing everything because consciousness is in everything, to slaughter the rest of the village during that time in what would be called a plague of death. That's basically a massive sacrifice to the Dark Lord. When you spill blood, you spill it in the name of Satan. Any spilled blood, any blood spilled for any purpose is always a dark act. This is what the Mayans did. This is what the Aztecs did. All of these cultures around the world throughout the ages, they went dark. But this is the construct of the universe, the one voice system, to pull us into those darker aspects, and so that we can know our light later down the road or in those time periods. So King Solomon was a high magician who used the knowledge of spirit sciences to cast spells, use sigils, gemstones, which are gin stones, incantations, which are sound combinations, and other arts for power, corruption, and control. The entire story of the Israelites, Isis, Ra, El, is also known as the moon, sun, and Saturn, which are lights or stars. Now, so it's the Israelites, they are the stars that are chosen for a purpose of darkness. It is a narrative of how the villains stole information and got away with the crime. And the people have become part of the ritual to carry the story and tell it in a positive manner. You see, they're promoting them. They're basically pirates who stole stuff from other people in other lands, started creating a story. It started destroying and killing and fighting the rest of us who want to be the light, want to play the part of the light. They started killing us off so that they could then take over the world and allow darkness to rule. But this is again the construct of the universe. We can't control this. It's just going to happen no matter what. We're just a tiny aspect of the whole. So my mind is reeling with light energy daily, recalling, divining, remembering the past, present, future, connecting the pieces of the puzzle. My higher self tells me things. It does. I just get these revelations, just aha, what? To help me remember and connect the secret doctrines through thought whispers. I get these just imprints in my mind, like I did today, of replacing words such as matrix for matrix. This happened a few weeks back, and Freemasonry with three masonry. That's the Holy Trinities, the combination of Holy Trinity sound frequencies to create things in matter, or mother. Connecting within is the key to restoring one's divinity, which is why they are ramping up the confusion and chaos energy and throwing as much discord into society and inside the technology. So we waste more of our time. Time is our real current C. Current is the present moment, is the electricity, is what you see. It's also the flow of water, which is a C, or of a current with a C. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all connected. It's not the money. Time is the currency, not the money, which is venom when you reverse it. Just reverse it in a mirror after writing it out in all capital letters in its true form, which is a dead system. It is operating on behalf of pirates who are upon the land, who worship the darkness and come from underground. They live underground. When you go underground, you begin to devolve. If you stay there for a long, long time, you begin to devolve, especially the deeper you go, because you're now surrounding yourself with complete magnetic energy, which is what the moon actually represents. The moon is magnetic. And so it pushes and pulls energy in its magnetism. And so I can see now why Moses represented a moon cult, and, how it connects to this notion of people living underground. And that's kind of like their symbol, their flag, so to speak, their seal, is they live in darkness. They live in the underworld. So we have to live in the light. If we truly want to become the light, we can't live underground. Women will stop ovulating if they're held underground for more than a month. I think it might be 6 weeks, or maybe it was 3 months or something, but they stopped ovulating when they did experiments like this. So, like I say, the further you go underground, you just can't. I mean, you hide very well from those who walk upon the land, but you also can basically darken your soul. Like your mind, I guess, becomes altered. They said this perfectly in The Lord of the Rings with Gollum. Gollum, who had descended into the earth, basically was originally a hobbit who had, walked upon the land, but because of his choices, because of the way he became like a thief and a villain and all these things, his mind first turned to darkness, then he started living underground. This is very telling. The Lord of the Rings will tell you a lot when you truly learn symbolism and how it connects to the outer world. But these things are right here before our eyes. They're hidden, but they're right here. No knowledge can absolutely be lost completely because it's found within you. And once you start tapping to the inner truth, which is connected to the light of heaven, then that begins your journey of rising in consciousness and rising in enlightenment. So I hope that this video has been some sort of droplet of truth or droplet of breadcrumb for people to grasp onto, to allow a little crack in the consciousness to open to further their study of their own discovery of self. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.